Are you sure you're ready for this?
I guess we'll see, won't we?
You're not 24, but I want to reflect on your 23rd year. What you've learned, things you lost, how you got to where you're at, what's next. So why don't you start off on a positive note? What was the best thing that happened to you in your 23rd year?
I think the best thing that happened to me during my 23rd year on this earth is I left what was comfortable and did what scared me and pushed myself out of my comfort zone. I left the only job I really ever knew in retail to do what I was passionate about, because I knew that that would result in just overall happiness for me, and I couldn't spend any more time doing things that I wasn't passionate about. I think it was the best thing because it truly taught me to go after what I was passionate about, and that anything is possible, and you don't have to listen to the people who tell you that you need to follow a certain route to get to where you want to be, or that you should do something else just because it gives you more money or more stability. I think I just learned about pursuing my passion over what everyone else tells you to do.
This next question follows onto the last one. What inspired you to make those decisions and begin to transition your life into the one you wanted?
I think that I've just never been someone who's really wanted to stay complacent. Even when I was at places in my life that I didn't necessarily think were my end goal, I always wanted to move forward. So I'm a very forward moving person. I want to know what's next, and I want to do so fast. So I think just the fear of complacency really drove me to make those decisions, and just the need to find joy and passion in my life and happiness around me. I knew that if I continued the retail route and doing what everyone around me was saying that I should do and chase the money, that I would maybe be successful but not happy. And I think for me, success includes my personal happiness. So I knew that that was something I had to do, no matter how scary it was or no matter how many people were rooting against me.
Here's where we go a little deeper. What was the greatest loss of your 23rd year?
I think the greatest loss was myself. A series of events kind of pushed me down a wormhole of self-doubt and loss of purpose, and a loss of confidence in myself and who I was and who I was becoming. It was difficult just because I thought I had worked so hard to become the person that I was and the person I wanted to be, and now all of a sudden that was in question. So it really made me think that I was an awful person, and that I don't know who I am or who I'm supposed to be, and that loss of self really turned me into someone that I didn't recognize but was also vaguely familiar, and I truthfully didn't know how to deal with it at the time. I still don't, but it led me into some pretty dark days, and it took a lot of work to get out of that.
What was that series of events?
I won't go into heavy detail, but basically when I left the world of retail, where I was excelling and doing well to pursue my passion in marketing, I thought that the role I was going to be taking on would be a long-term thing, and that I was going to grow with this company, and that I was going to have a great impact. When it didn't work out, it kind of instilled a lot of doubt in me and my abilities and my knowledge of marketing. It had me questioning whether I was good enough to work in marketing, whether I would succeed at all when I was trying to do all the right things. It was hard because I really thought that if I couldn't be successful there, if people didn't see my value there, I wasn't going to ever be successful anywhere. It really hurt, but I learned a lot from that, thankfully. There is such things as toxic workplaces and toxic work environments, and I learned what not to look for in a company. Luckily, I am now working at a company where it's the exact opposite, where my opinions are valued, my knowledge is valued, because experience is one thing, but if you can show that you have the knowledge, the experience doesn't matter as much. And that's kind of what my company that I work for now taught me, is that like I do have purpose and I have value, and I am smart and I am driven, and I can work in marketing, and I am working in marketing, and I can drive results. So that was helpful, I guess.
How did you move forward despite the pain and internal struggle you were experiencing?
To be honest, I don't think I did a really good job of it. I still don't. It's really hard to move forward when the pain is still there. It's really hard to move forward when you can't forgive. It's really hard to move forward when people aren't necessarily thinking that they are in the wrong. And me being someone who I feel things so deeply, it really took a toll on me, and it still does. There's still some days where it makes me feel incompetent at the job I have now, and it impacts how I view myself and my future. But I think the most important thing is I take it day by day. There are some good days, and on those good days I just try to remember that I have purpose and I have value, and no one can determine my worth besides me and God. And I honestly just take it day by day. I don't think I'm some expert in how to move on from like traumatic situations, but I think the only thing you can do is take it day by day and learn to just accept that you can't change people as much as you would like to, as much as you want to. You can't change people who don't want to change.
So, what's next for you?
I think about this a lot, of like, where does my life go from here? Obviously there's a lot of things that happen in a year, and so now that I'm 24, I think there are some great things happening this year. There's some goals that I set for myself. Obviously I can plan my life away, but that doesn't necessarily mean it'll happen. Sometimes life takes you by surprise, but I think my goals are to pursue things that are going to make me happy, pursue people that are going to make me happy. I'm getting married at the end of the year in September to the love of my life. So I think that's really going to be a game changer. And we have goals that we've set for ourselves when we get married. I want to write a book this year, whether it be fiction, nonfiction, just about, everything, because I'm really passionate about writing. And I just want to continue to move forward and grow as a person. One thing that I've spent a lot of time thinking about is my personal growth. For a large part of my life, I've sought out external validation to show that I'm growing, to show that I'm this great person. And I realized that the key to growth is not caring whether people think you're growing or not, whether they think you have growth issues, or whether you're not growing enough, or you're growing too much, or I think the only person that there is to determine my growth is me, and I'm just going to continue to work on me. I think the future and this next year is going to be selfishly focused on making sure that I'm the person that I want to be, and not the person that people want me to be.
Okay, so that was all the questions. You're good to go.